There you go. You feeling charged up?
That's a shocking way to start it.
I'm Jim Czek, and this is Ken Molgat,
Yes.
and we're here with Energized. And today we're going to talk about buying used EV in British Columbia.
And I was saying prior to this that I'm not sure what move I might make, but I'm quite certain that when I finally replace my 2009 gas-burning car, it's going to be something electric. But I'm just not sure quite where I'm going to go.
So we've been talking about this for a while, and there's lots of choices out there. We did a little search on autotrader.ca.
Right.
And right now, if you search just provincially for an electric vehicle, it comes up with 1,995 vehicles for sale. So there's lots of choices in used where there wasn't a lot before.
Right. Okay. And sure, there's lots of choices, but I'm finding that what I see sometimes doesn't make a lot of sense. Like I saw a Tesla, I'm pretty sure, used for more than what I would pay to get a new one once I get about $9,000 in
rebates.
So
yeah, that is weird for sure. I know like some of the places or dealers are saying you don't have to pay the PST because there's no PST in British Columbia on used EVs.
Right.
That's one of the things that we want to make sure that everybody understands. In British Columbia, they do have a program that you do not pay PST on a used EV, whether you buy that privately or you buy that from a dealership.
Okay.
So that's both ways. And if you buy it privately, the vehicle has to have a minimum of 6,000 kilometers on it, though. But in a dealer, it doesn't have to have that.
Oh, okay.
So used EVs are not subject to PST. When you go to trade or go to register the vehicle, you typically pay PST and GST when you buy a used vehicle from somebody, right? Or at the dealership, you'll pay that, right?
Okay. Another incentive to go electric.
Yeah, another incentive to go electric. And if you're trading a vehicle, like say you traded that, would you say 09 BMW? If you were to trade that vehicle, I'm not sure what you would get for that vehicle at this point, but you only pay, if it's through a dealership, you only pay tax on the difference, right?
Right.
So plus no PST.
No PST.
So with that in mind, there's quite a few manufacturers out there right now that have EVs. So it's almost as tough a choice as it is with the new ones. There's quite a few manufacturers out there with new ones as well, but the prices on some of the used ones have come down dramatically. I think we have a few that we can just show you, just kind of give you a little taste, down to the Nissan Leaf there, which is, Nissan Leaf was one of the earlier ones for sure, because Tesla started selling cars, I think, around 2012. The Roadster, I think they sold earlier, but their S's and X's and that started around 2012. So here's a Nissan Leaf they did not have that much of a range for sure, but you can see that it's fairly low price. That would probably be ideal for somebody that is like does short range commutes, right?
Right.
Like if they're doing 10, 15 kilometers a day, like going to work and back, and that's all they do.
$8,200.
$8,200.
And that's a 2012.
2012. And it has, what did it have on there? 95,000 K.
Right.
The thing about all electrics is the maintenance in them is a lot less than it would be in a...
Okay, I had a quick look.
And while you're looking at it, you get a hamburger for $3.19.
That is a bargain on the some sort of what's the McDouble or something? Wow, that looks tasty.
Anyway,
but no, hang on.
McDonald's can definitely sponsor the show if they'd like. We would even take a free hamburger.
Yeah. So I was looking at a Hyundai. And it was.
You're talking about the Ioniqs, or
it wasn't. It was some kind of SUV, and it was 30,000, and then there was another one for 32,000.
Those are used ones.
And these were 3 and 4 years old, and the brand new one was 36,000.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not going to want to buy a 4-year-old one for that close to the new price. In other words, I don't see the discount for used being substantial enough.
Well, I think that the biggest thing is Tesla lowered its prices this past year dramatically, like 27%, which forced all manufacturers to lower their new prices. And we've seen that with Ford, with their Mach-E and their Lightning. And then so I think a lot of the new stuff has come down, but I think a lot of people that had used stuff don't really want to adjust the prices too much. Because, like, I think that's one of the reasons a lot of dealers don't like carrying used Teslas, is because like Elon on a whim says, well, we're dropping the price today, which will affect everything, because people, why wouldn't you buy a new one?
Which is why I'm in more of a mood to sit back and just see if those 3-year-old ones start to show a price. I think
so the cool thing about Teslas and used ones, there's a couple of things for sure. Can we pull up let's pull up another car first before we get to some of the advantages with a Tesla.
Marcy was yawning just now.
So there's a
spice it up.
A Kia EV6 GT AW all-wheel drive, 2024, has very little miles on it. Probably a demo. But it's at the Ford dealer, so it's not a demo. It's at Cam Clark Ford.
Wow. Okay, so it's like really low.
Yeah, so somebody must have bought it and then decided that they didn't want it.
Right.
They plugged it in the first time and said, "What? Plug it in." Let's see the next one there. So that seems, here's a Mach-E, for instance, that have been selling. So this is a Mach-E. We know that they kind of sell their entry-level cells for around that price, but this is an all-wheel drive one, and I think they're probably $10,000 or $15,000 more. And this is selling at a Ford dealership, has 25,000 kilometers on it, and that's in Nelson. Nice looking car.
Seems like a pretty good deal. Like
nice looking car.
Pretty low.
2021 comfort package, technology package. And then here's a Tesla, 2015 Tesla Model S 4-door.
Okay, I'm glad we got this because I wouldn't want to go that old except for the fact that the 2015s, and I take it some of the 2016s, still have that amazing free supercharging for life?
For life of the car, right? So long as that car has never been turned into Tesla, like for like a trade, that car will carry free supercharging for life. And that is pretty attractive, especially if you're traveling a lot. And that means you can pull up to any Tesla supercharger. And the Tesla superchargers are the biggest fueling station in the world. So
okay, and how many Ks on that baby?
This one happens to have, I think it was 18K. I had it in another photo there. This one had very low K.
18K.
Oh no, is there another one there? I think there's one more Tesla. I think this is the one that had 18K. Okay. This is a private sale. And this is an all-wheel drive. And I think this one had ludicrous mode too. So this is the super fast one.
Okay, so if I open the doors and look inside one of these 2015 or 2016 Tesla S's, is that a real downgrade from how they're looking now? They're not quite as fancy.
No, not much of it. Like I can show you some downstairs, but I mean, for the viewers, the screens went from horizontal to vertical, right? So it's about the same size screen. The cool thing about Teslas, though, is that they upgrade them all the time. So basically, when they do a software update, you get that software update. So,
or even if there's like, for instance, there just was like a recall, it's not like you got to take it in.
No, they do most of the stuff as over the air. Obviously, if there's a mechanical issue, you'd have to take it in. But I have not seen a recall yet for a mechanical issue that you have to take it actually into a Tesla dealer.
But most to accept the upgrade.
Yeah, most of the our over-the-air Tesla does this better than anybody does it, is over-the-air updates. And the cool thing about over-the-air updates, like for instance, there's usually a Christmas gift that gives you. Mm-hmm. And this Christmas, they're giving you 3D cam, some more games in the car, like you get games in the car.
Okay, but you're so over the moon for Tesla. So if someone put a gun to your head and made you buy something other than a Tesla,
what would it be? Cybertruck? Is that a Tesla?
It's still a Tesla. What would?
Well, I would. Well, here, look at this one. They're having trouble selling these. 2022 Mercedes EQS. The dash in these things looks phenomenal. Looks like you're almost driving a spaceship.
Like it.
The price is high though, right? That's a used one.
That is quite a bit.
$150,000, right? 150 grand. I think obviously if you're buying Mercedes, you're buying that brand too. And for a lot of people buying Mercedes, 150, 250, probably doesn't matter that much.
That's a little higher than a year's salary here at Kelowna now.
Hey, but no PST doesn't matter how expensive it is, right?
True.
No PST.
All right. Do you know anything more about this vehicle? Like
the Mercedes?
Yes.
I know that they're not selling them.
Range is always what, I want to see like good range. On it, it'd be nice to be able to go all the way to Vancouver.
I think somebody wants us to go to McDonald's though, because now there's the McJunior chicken up there.
Wow, Marcy, have you tried the Junior chicken?
That's my favorite.
There you go. So I don't know much about the Mercedes. They're fancy inside, like opulent, very opulent. I did go to the Energized show in Vancouver, billed as the largest EV show in the world. I did see some opulence from BMW that had a similar price range, and it was like tufted leather, like it was like over the moon. What you'll find, and you've been in a few Teslas now, what you'll find in Teslas is kind of minimalistic kind of look, right? Like minimalist, no buttons.
Some might call it boring, but it's clean.
It's very minimalistic, and like the dash is like super clean. There's really no buttons to be found.
I find most of the manufacturers really want to throw the SUV at us, and I actually prefer more of a sedan, lower to the ground, right? Like the Ioniq 6 looks good to me.
So the number one selling vehicle in the world today is the Model Y, which is an SUV version of the Model 3.
Right.
So people, that's the number one niche in the world too.
Right.
Is SUVs, small SUVs. That's the niche that people seem to want, because they want that kind of like that lifestyle vehicle where they can go like take, like put some surfboards on top, put the dog in the back and all that stuff. Like there's a camp mode in a Tesla. You can actually camp in there. You plug it in, like go pull into a campground. It sleeps 2 adults when you fold the seats down or flip the seats down. Right. And campfire, you turn the campfire on the front screen, and you got the starry roof, and you set the climate to whatever you want. Yeah. And it's a built-in camper. And you got a storage trunk underneath it, because there's frunks and frunk in the front, and then a storage bin in the back. Why I should be selling these things.
That's what okay. How much is Tesla paying in this program? No, you're really
Zero.
sold. No, you would just make me buy a Tesla, really.
Well, no, you can buy whatever you want. I think that there's so many, like I'm just saying, there's lots of choices out there. I've heard the Rivian. I've heard some really good things about the Rivian. A lot of people that buy the Rivian really like the Rivian. They're quite expensive. I've heard good and bad about the Ford F-150 Lightning. I do. There was a cool. We'll play it today at that 4 o'clock news. We're going to do it at 4 o'clock news. Jim Farley and Elon Musk are pretty good friends with each other, and they like to throw shade at each other.
Jim Farley, he's the CEO. He's the Ford guy.
So they had a Cybertruck that went out and got a Christmas tree, and it got stuck. And pulling it out was a Ford F-150. So thanks. Farley went on just like, hey, this isn't an ad. Just showing what an F-150 can do, right? When your Cybertruck gets in trouble, call on an F-150.
The Cybertruck, I mean, I've seen all of these amazing things it can do, but they're really funny looking. I mean, it's almost like a clown car, the appearance, I think.
The number one selling vehicle in the United States. Vehicle, not car. Like Tesla owns that. Yeah. The number one selling vehicle, though, is the Ford F-150.
Yeah.
They sell a lot of F-150s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I would like to see the Cybertruck move into something that doesn't look so odd.
Yeah. But let's stick with what we were talking about here. Right. How, like, if you're in British Columbia and you're looking to buy an EV, there's a lot of choices out there. There's 1,995 vehicles out there. Right. My advice to you from driving one for about a year now is test drive a few, right? Even if you go to some of the dealers, test drive some of the newer ones, and then read some of the reviews on some of the cars, right? You can go to YouTube and you're going to find reviews on most of them, like tons of these guys. Jeeves is one guy, and they drive all these vehicles, compare them. Most of them are driving Teslas full time, but then they'll go out and drive a Rivian, and they'll go drive a Mach-E, drive some stuff.
So that means going to a dealer. You go to a dealer and, no offense to all the dealerships, but right away I get my nose out of joint with things, these extra costs they put, like a documentation fee, which strikes me as just ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think I've been bothered by that many times too, because you're just thinking like, and then during COVID, there was a lot of market adjustments too. And then when Mach-E's and F-150 Lightnings and other electrics were in scarce demand, they did add a lot of markups to these vehicles. Yeah. And the same thing could be said for the C8 Corvette and all that stuff.
I prefer, just tell me the price. Don't say it's this price. But
so one of the things, and again, Jim Farley has said this himself from the Ford. He said that Tesla has an unfair advantage in selling cars because they don't have a dealership model. So they don't add dock fees. They don't add markups or anything like even when I went to buy mine to pick it up.
We're back to Tesla again.
Yeah, when I went to pick it up, I asked for floor mats, and they're just like, we don't sell floor mats. So I was just like, what? Floor mats? I was actually asking for floor mats, and they're just
extra.
No, they're extra in every vehicle, but they don't sell them. They said if you want them, go online.
Wow.
So they usually go to when you're picking your vehicle up at whether that's BMW or Ford or whatever, they're going to have it like what you said, dock fees, floor mats. Whatever are the other extras they added up, and nitrogen in the tires, because that's a good one. Everybody needs nitrogen in your tires, right? You're going to get that. Well,
I don't know. Do you also pay extra for oxygen in the passenger compartment?
I think I went to pick up a Honda once in Alberta, and they said, oh, we forgot to charge you because we put nitrogen in tires. I said, well, take it out because I don't want it. Just give me regular air. That's all I wanted. Anyway, back to this to stay on topic. In British Columbia, definitely an advantage on used. This is the big thing on drive home. No PST on used EVs. So that's a big advantage. And then one of the things that you want to consider when you're buying an EV as well, and one of the things that's attracting you towards Tesla, is the charging network. If you don't have a charger at home, for most people, if you get a level 2 charger at home, for most people, they'll do 90% of their charging at home. And it's not that big of a factor. But if you want to travel out on the road and that, the Tesla has a huge advantage over everything else because of the supercharger network. But, caveat, most of the manufacturers are adopting the Tesla supercharging in the next couple of years. So Ford is the first to announce that. So Ford, again, I see Ford and Tesla starting to do some deals together, right?
Right. But typically, if you're going to invest in a electric vehicle, you'd probably want to spend another, how much is it to set it up so you can charge it at home?
Again, it's so you got to take some of the mystery out of it for most people, because some people, I think there's people out there taking advantage of people too, that saying that it's like mysterious. They got to get this EV charger. It's a dryer plug. It's actually a dryer plug. So Tesla even sells a splitter for your dryer plug. So you can actually plug it into your dryer plug, and so you can't run both, but it'll take for the Tesla or it'll take for your dryer, right?
So it really shouldn't be a big cost at all.
I've seen estimates in the $5,500 range and stuff like that too, right?
To bring a dryer plug to the exterior.
Well, I mean, some of them
home?
say you got to upgrade your panel, but most people already have a dryer plug in their home, right?
Yeah, my panel's flipping when I try and plug in the Christmas lights. But
then you may need some help. But if you buy a 2015 Model S, and the Model S is a luxury car, the Model S is not their. It's a the Model S, that one that we looked at for, I think it was $38,000 or something, $55,000, because that's the ludicrous mode. That's their top end car. That thing goes 0 to 60 faster than most, like Bugattis and Corvettes and everything. That thing is super fast, like lightning fast. And I've driven them. Even the Model 3s are fast, but that thing is just like on another level. And if you get free supercharging for life, you'll probably charge it once a week. You go to the Best Western. You can go to I think where the movie theater is on the West Kelowna, and you can charge that for free.
So keep hunting one of those down for me.
Yeah, I think I've even looked and thought about trading in my Model 3, my new Model 3, for a used.
Because I heard Tesla was trying to buy those back.
Yeah, they do. If they take them in, then they take out the charging, right? So
right.
But that did travel with the car for life, right? So and so if you are looking to buy a used one, you can call Tesla and confirm that vehicle either has free supercharging or not, or you can look on the screen. Right. It'll say that.
It's somewhat confusing. You can't go by years. Some 2016s have it.
Some 2017s even have it. Right?
Oh, really?
So okay. So it depends on what promotion they were running.
Wow.
So
some 2017s have it.
Yeah. I think it's even. Can we pull up the latest graphs there? Because this is not that one. That's the tax one. But if you look at that, it says this is the ones that had free unlimited supercharging, and it says some Model Ys had it. But you would definitely need
2018 and 2019s?
Yeah, Model 3s.
Wow.
Performance trim only, but that's a must be original owner, right? So you can't transfer that one.
But it's those Tesla S's.
The S is where you're going to find most of them, right?
Okay. But it's all over the map. You got to check.
So that's what I mean. So before you it'll say on the screen what the vehicle comes with. Mm-hmm. Same thing with full self-drive. If the vehicle was bought with full self-drive, sticks with the vehicle, and that's about a $15,000 option too, right? It doesn't go with the driver. So if a vehicle like a Model S, because a lot of people bought full self-drive when they got the free supercharging, and some of them bought the connection, like there's like connecting to the internet too.
Right.
Some of them got that free for the rest of the life of the vehicle as well. So there is some cool things you got to do a little bit of research on. Tesla has some very unique features, and I know that all the other manufacturers are trying to top Tesla. There's Polestar now. If we just think about some of the vehicles out there,
right.
Polestar is like a Volvo product. Ford has the Mach-E and the F-150 Lightning. GM has delayed their Silverado now, I think, and they're discontinuing their Volt. I think they had both, right? One was a hybrid.
They've still got one of the Olts, right?
I think Toyota and Honda really kind of double down on the hybrids. Lots of people really like hybrids. I've been talking to a lot of people recently. They're really loving the hybrids.
That doesn't make sense to me. You're hauling an unused engine around.
So again, when we talk about hybrids, we can do a whole show on that too. Hybrid. I think I did it with Gord Lovegrove.
Not going there.
So the option, they'll tell you that it's the best of both worlds because you get both. And then the other side, it's the worst of
also
both
the
worlds
worst of
because you
both
got both.
worlds.
Right.
It's-
So it depends.
yeah.
It's all perspective, right?
Yeah.
So, but again, it depends on your use. Like if you're only ever driving back and forth to work and you're doing 10, 15 kilometers,
Right.
the hybrid may make sense.
If I'm making that leap, I'm going to look forward to never stopping at a gas station again.
Well, I tell you, like that Tesla Model S even is tempting to me. Like if you're going to start doing some longer trips, like go on vacation, it's free gas. Do you know what I mean? Like you can
know.
drive to California, it's worldwide. Like you could drive wherever you want and you're not paying for a lick of fuel.
True.
Right? So if I was a salesman right now, I'd be going to find myself a Tesla Model S 2015.
Right. Hey, this has been super informative. Thanks, and I'll continue to ask you as I
Yeah.
sort
Well,
of passively watch.
if you get one, then we'll just do a little show on the car and we'll talk about the car, whatever you get, whether that's
Sounds
I
good.
know you like that Ionic too, but
yeah, the
good to
Ionic
do some-
6. I like the look of that.
Yeah, there you go. Till then, stay charged up and let's get energized.